not a vaccine with which you can think of immunizing a lot of people in India. India is in a fairly good position that in the coming months, we are likely to have at least 3 or 4 candidates that are working on the same principle essentially. Although these are interim phase 3 results, but they are very encouraging. They are encouraging from a few different perspectives. The first one is that this is the first phase 3 trial result of any COVID vaccine. Secondly, this is the first mRNA vaccine platform that has shown to be efficacious. There has really been no RNA-based vaccines that have been licensed for use so far. This bodes really well for the future because it's fairly simple to make RNA vaccines once you have a platform available. Finally, this also proves that you can take a small part of the virus structure, immunize with it, and get protection. In this case, they used not even the entire spike protein, but a part of the spike protein. So yes, it's optimistic from many different angles. So one hopes that by the end of this year, we would know for sure whether there is emergency use authorization of this vaccine or not. Out of 94 people who got infected, 9 of them were in the vaccine group and 85 were in the placebo group. So that's how 90% efficacy has been calculated, right? So even 9 of those who got the vaccine got infected. What remains to be seen is whether there is any difference in the level of disease between people who got infected in the vaccine group versus the placebo group. So whether the vaccine was able to attenuate disease or not, which many vaccines do. Most vaccines actually don't protect against infection, they protect against disease. So this again remains to be seen, and it will only be known once the vaccine is rolled out into a much larger population, and that is something to be done post-approval. No, nobody was expecting that. In fact, I don't think even the company was expecting it. They were expecting the vaccine to be about 70% efficacious. It turned out to be 90%. So you have to go by the data. It's possible that when analysis is done at a later time point, the efficacy may drop from 90% to, I don't know, 85%, 80%. It would still be a good vaccine. So these early results are extremely encouraging, very positive, and let's wait for the final data to come out. This vaccine requires ultra cold temperatures to be stored. It is minus 80 degrees or even lower temperature is required for its storage, which creates immense challenges as far as the distribution and cold chain for the vaccine is concerned. So certainly this is, for example, not a vaccine with which you can think of immunizing a lot of people in India, because India just doesn't have the infrastructure for this kind of a cold chain. Maybe some very rich people who can afford to pay a lot of money will be able to afford it if the vaccine finally becomes available in India. But the other word of caution is don't get too happy that this vaccine will be available to us in India in the near future. It won't be. but good from a point of view that it has proven a concept. India is in a fairly good position that in the coming months, we are likely to have at least 3 or 4 candidates uh, that are working on the same principle, essentially, not mRNA, but same part of the virus. And hopefully they will also show efficacy. They are very different. Covaxin is the whole virus. So you grow a lot of the virus, you purify it, and then you simply kill the virus with a chemical, and you inject the entire killed virus. Whereas the mRNA vaccine or even the Oxford vaccine, the AstraZeneca vaccine, is based on a single component from the virus, which is the spike protein. Whereas Covaxin contains all the proteins that are present in the virus. So they are very, very different vaccines.